Hey friends and family, figured I'd do a video real quick, show you what we're doing for our potatoes this year. We did a lot of different research and try to figure out what would work best. And so far, we think we should just go above ground this year. We got moles, voles, probably armadillos and everything else running through here in this yard. And they tear up my yard quite a bit. So I figured I would share with you guys real quick what I'm doing, and let's have a look. So right here I got my main ingredients and I have my barrels. Now I cut these barrels in half. I started drilling on the bottom and I realized, you know what, it's not very water sufficient. So then I turned around and started drilling on the outer edge. Just came up about 2 or 3 inches, and that should hold a little bit of water before it empties out. The other thing I got here is where I mix all my soil. I use one of these real big carts. It works really good. I know they're expensive, but they are so worth it. I got one done here. I just threw my taters in. I'm gonna put some more soil over it once I get done making some. These were from last night. I got soil over the top of them, and this is what goes in the bottom. I put this mulch up to the edge of these holes right here. I want this bark to kind of hold some of that moisture in for me, and it'll make for a bit of a water saving situation. But anyway, I'm gonna finish doing all these. I gotta mix all that. It'll probably be dark 30 by the time I'm done with them all, and then I'm gonna run them all the way down there and put them in our garden, which I still haven't finished the fence. I've been busy. I got so much stuff to do. But what I'm using as far as soil goes, just using these cheap $2 cow manure and compost. You might be able to see what that looks like just underneath right here. So this little section underneath this rock or sand is that. The very, very bottom is the peat moss. And then I do this living earth organic compost on top of that. It smells just like straight up cow poop and pee a little bit, but it's not that bad. It smells like it's still alive, and if I slide my hand underneath these bags, it's warm. They've been continuing to break down, which is good, I think, but it's just barely warm. It's not like hot or nothing like that. So I'm happy with that. That'll work just fine. Like I said, I use the peat moss, divide that into thirds, and then I use this patio paver sand because it is much thicker than regular sand. It doesn't compact and actually allows for my water to drain through properly. Here's some of it over here in some old cups that I have. But if you use regular sand, it's going to compact to the point where it's useless. But it allows water to drain and just provides for a great mix. I put all 4 of those together really good, and you can see it. It's sandy, but it's pretty thick sand, which is what you want. I also use this to do my cuttings in because you can kind of just moisten it and then that's it. You don't have to soak it. Water runs right through it, and that should be enough watering to get your cuttings all the way through to the point where they're germinating. So that's what I got. Hope you guys enjoy this video and learn something for yourselves. If you want to do potatoes, they like acidic soil. Part of the reason why I'm doing all this is half a bag of that cow manure compost right there, the yellow bag, half a bag of that, and then the peat moss, I'm doing 1/3 of that because it's 1 cubic foot. And then I'm doing a whole bag of this, which is 2 cubic feet. And then a whole bag of the sand, which is also half a cubic foot. So all in all, these barrels over here, once I cut them in half, they're about 25 gallons, maybe borderlining 28. It should take 3.6 or something like that cubic feet with the math I found online. And so I got 1 cubic foot from this bundle of 3, And then there's 2, that gives me 3. And then I put a half a pound or half a bag of that sand over there, or a whole bag of that sand right there, which gives me 3.5. And then I do half a bag of this, which gives me, it's 40 pounds. It's probably also, let's see, what did it say? Now it goes by poundage. So half of that bag is probably a quarter. So I'm like 3.5, or no, 3.75 in the end. But that's okay. Any kind of extra leftovers or anything like that, we'll just save. But for me, it's worked well as a good mix. And honestly, I'm pretty sure when this stuff gets wet, it's gonna kind of sink a little bit. It's gonna compact a little bit. But the mixture I use should help prevent just complete compaction. The peat moss will help hold some moisture. So will some of this organic material. You can see what that bag looks like right there. That one is that 2 cubic foot. Got bunches of little stuff in it. Not exactly what I want. I'd almost rather have this cheap bag because it's dirt. I mean, it's mostly dirt. But I wouldn't suggest just using that because that stuff compacts really bad. Anytime I use it by itself, it compacts really bad. But all 3 together, it makes for a pretty good mix. And I'll have to update you guys how this does later on. Thanks for watching, and God bless y'all. Love y'all. Family members that might see this. And these are the spuds we're putting in there. We are going with the, I can never say this word, Adirondack Blue. Adirondack, whatever that means. They are seed potatoes, super important. You make sure you get seed potatoes. Apparently, store-bought potatoes have a growth inhibitor sprayed on them, so they'll still sprout. But that growth inhibitor is kind of designed to make them not sprout, so I don't know, I've heard that it doesn't work that well from the videos I've watched and information I've tried to learn. So with that in mind, we still did it anyway. So we have 2 potatoes we cut up that gave us like 10. It gave us 10 little slices with sprouts on them. So we're gonna try that and see how it does. See if it's really true, if you can't use those. But they say that you should use a seeding potato, which is what I have right there. And hey, you know what? Real quick, I will show you guys what they look like, so that way you don't have to just take my word for it. Should have done that a second ago. Alrighty, let's see here. So these are the seeding potatoes. If I say tomato at any point, y'all gotta forgive me because yeah, I do shit like that from time to time. I say tomato instead of potato. But you can see it's got a bunch of eyes on that one. You could have thirded that one out, but I didn't want to cut these. I just want to kind of leave them like normal. And there's a few left. I got enough in there to do this one right here. So we're gonna do 4 barrels, half barrels with those spuds. And then we're gonna do 2 barrels with the ones inside. And you can see them kind of sticking up there. They kind of got knocked a little. You do want to make sure this is pushing up. And once I go from this, I put a couple inches in there, and then I set my spuds, and then I cover them up about 3 inches just below this little section right here. I put about 3 inches of soil on top of that, wet it down real good, and then we just wait. They should push up through the soil. Once they get about 6 more inches, we're gonna add another 3 inches of soil. Once they grow up another 6 inches or 8 inches or 10 or whatever, then we're just gonna go ahead and put in another 8 inches of soil and kind of be done with hilling those. We may, if it needs, we may actually come up and mound off the top of these. I don't think we will, but there's a good chance that some of these don't get put deep enough. Something I've always had a hard time with potatoes is making sure they're the right damn height. And so, Captain, get in the yard. Get in the yard, dude. Come on. And so that's what we got going on with that. Stay in the yard, dude. And then we got Captain here who don't listen. Do you, Captain? And I got other things in the works, but you'll have to wait for that. Anyway, love you guys, our fam, friends. Thanks for watching, and y'all take care. Bye.